My name is Patrick Woodhead. I am a lab lead at Protocol Labs. Over the last few years, I've been looking at retrieval markets and managing the overall retrieval markets program, which has included projects like Saturn, Station, Titan, Magmo, amongst some others. Today, I'm going to be talking about Spark, this protocol for verifying Filecoin retrievals at scale, and also how it relates to the Station project. We're going to begin by talking about Station, which allows anyone to now join the Web3 economy. Web3 is supposed to be about giving people back control of their data, of their identity, of their sovereignty, and even of their financials online. Yet at the moment, it feels like Web3 requires you either to have the technical chops or the financial clout to really get involved, and it's leaving other people outside the inner circle. We've identified that there's this long tail of Web3 enthusiasts who would like to get involved, but they just can't find the ways how to do so because they haven't got the compute power, the technical abilities, or the dollar to do so. And this can be smaller teams, or even just people who have some resources like a laptop, or other such devices, even smaller devices like a phone. They would like to be involved, but they just don't quite know how to do so yet. We've seen this diagram quite a lot over the last few days here at Lab Week, where we've identified a chasm between the Web3 visionaries on the left-hand side and then the early adopters, late adopters, and laggards who aren't able to cross the chasm and break into this Web3 clique, as I like to call it. I believe that the Web3 networks that solve for this onboarding problem, for this UX problem, and getting the long tail of people into this space, they will be the Web3 networks that prosper. And I think that the Web3 networks that don't do this will never break out of the Web3 clique. That brings us to Station. Station democratizes Web3. It allows anyone to contribute to the Web3 economy with the resources that they have. How so? Well, Station enables anyone to provide underutilized hardware resources like storage, compute, bandwidth, or even just their location in the network to the internet economy in exchange for some tokens. And these tokens are initially Phil. So what exactly is it? Well, Station is a desktop app. You can download it from philstation.app and just start contributing to the Filecoin and Web3 economy immediately. No technical skills required. But you can also run Station on a server. We even have some people, I believe, already running Station on a Raspberry Pi, which is really cool. When you start Station, you create a Station wallet, which allows you to start earning for your contributions to the Station network. A week ago, we launched payouts for Station. At the time, we had sort of a group of test users bubbling along at around 50 active users on a day-to-day basis. And within a week, we're now up at around 1,500 active users on a daily basis, which is really, really exciting. And we're continuing to see it grow on a day-by-day basis. And we're currently also doing 1.6 million jobs per day across these Station operators. We've also seen people tweeting about it, and it's great to see people posting the images of the Station desktop app UI and talking about their experience in earning Filecoin in exchange for doing a few jobs in the Filecoin economy. But what are you actually doing with Station? Well, just like the International Space Station, which is built of modules, this Station runs modules too. Builders who would like to benefit from the underutilized resources that people have when they're running their stations can build Station modules. And then Station, the people running stations, will run those modules and earn for doing so. And Station's first module targets the Filecoin retrieval market, and it is called Spark. So Spark is a trustless protocol for sampling retrievals from Filecoin storage providers. And by doing so, Station operators earn Phil. So just going back into sort of the problem space again, why Spark? Why do we want to build this? Well, Filecoin has had great success in many areas, and retrieval is one which we still need to make a lot of progress. As the program manager for retrieval markets over the last few years, we've worked on such technologies as Lassie, IPNI, Saturn, Boost, and a handful of other things, which have built the rails for people to make retrievals. But this was still an incentive problem. We can make the retrievals, it's all in place, apart from the incentives to make the storage providers serve them. If anyone wants to see a talk, I gave a talk in a Phil Dev Summit about all the constituent parts of the retrieval market, called Retrieval Markets Rollup, and that will introduce you to these other technologies. But you can see at this diagram at the bottom that we're bubbling along at around 10% retrieval success rate, and that is a problem which Spark is trying to solve. One of the issues we've had with retrieval success rate from Filecoin is that when we spin up a retrieval bot, we're often doing it from centralized infrastructure, making requests to Filecoin storage providers. And as such, storage providers can start to tell which are the retrieval bots which are testing their performance. And so there's a really nice fit here with the station network, where station operators are coming from a diverse group of IP addresses from all around the world, making these test requests to storage providers, so that the storage provider can't actually tell which are the test requests and which is the actual traffic that they're serving for retrievals. And an example of the actual traffic is, say, the request coming from the Saturn network. Excuse me. Here we've got the steps of the Spark protocol. If you'd like to see me talk about each of these steps in detail, then there's a talk at the Filecoin Day, which was a couple of days ago, where we could zoom in on each of these steps and actually look about what's really happening under the hood. But for our purposes here, where we want to really talk about what IPC and why we want to be a launch partner for IPC, it's these final three steps which are very interesting. Measure, evaluate, and reward. And if anyone here is familiar with the impact evaluator framework, the three steps of an impact evaluator are measure, evaluate, and reward. And the station team is building this on-chain Meridian framework, which is trying to encourage protocols to be impact evaluators, where you can measure what people are doing in a network, evaluate over their measurements, and then reward them based on their performance. And Spark follows exactly this framework. The other reason these are highlighted is these are the on-chain interactions which Spark is making, and they're making with the Filecoin mainnet. And it's starting to cost us a fair bit of fill per day. And I know these aren't huge numbers, but let's remember that Spark and Station is for the long tail. We're trying to let people, I suppose, offset their Netflix subscription or offset their Spotify subscription by having this app run in the background. And so we're dealing in smaller amounts of fill than perhaps other projects. And already, in the last week, with the growth to 1,500 station operators, we're starting to see quite a lot of fill spent per day on on-chain interactions. Now, these are things, as the engineering team, we'd like to evaluate and see if there's ways we can tweak it on mainnet. But this is a real reason why we're very interested to start working with the IPC team and start to move Spark towards subnets. So that brings us to Station and IPC. We're a very proud launch partner of IPC. The first thing is that Station would like to leverage Mycelium to record all of the retrieval jobs that are happening around the network and then distribute the rewards through this impact evaluator framework and doing that at scale. We're currently committing to, I suppose, hashes over an accumulation of all of these records that are happening, and perhaps with IPC we could even move beyond that and actually have all of the individual records stored in a subnet. Spark and Station can also benefit from the lower gas fees and higher throughput from IPC and Mycelium. That's a real benefit for the team as we start to see the Spark protocol scale and the Station network scale. And then finally, the improved transaction speeds for Spark can create much better user experiences for station operators based on Mycelium's fast finality time. So where are we today? We've already hit our end-of-year target of getting the Station network to be at least 500 nodes. We're already at 1,500 active nodes, so that's great. Did it in 3 days, so we can either put our feet up for the rest of the year and enjoy the festive season, or we can start building on IPC. So in Q1, we would like to get Spark onto an IPC subnet, and we're also targeting other network analytics and light node module use cases where we can really leverage the fact that these Station nodes are on people's home devices and from the user perspective. And then looking into Q2 next year, we'd like to move to a fully trustless Spark protocol. So that just leads me to say, please participate, please join in. I know the people in this room might not be the long tail of people interested in Web3, But if so, tell your friends, tell your long-tail friends to download the app and start earning and start learning about the Filecoin network and the Filecoin ecosystem. If you're a module builder, if you look at Station and say, oh, that's be a great deployment target for my network or my light node, then please reach out to the team and we can explore some ideas. And we can also talk with the IPC team as well about how your module idea, your network would actually fit with Station and with IPC together. Great, well, thank you very much. And that just leaves me to take any questions.